There is poison in tap water. Fact: fluoride is a dangerous substance and the active ingredient in most insecticides. If ingested, as little as 1/10 of an ounce of fluoride can kill a 100-pound adult. 1 in 100th of an ounce can kill a 10-pound infant. Studies have shown that exposure to fluoride can cause neurological damage and an increased risk of bone cancer. Fiction: fluoride added to the public water supply strengthens teeth and helps prevent cavities. It's a poison, and they've been poisoning us for as long as they could get away with it. British in Northern Ireland, America in Iraq, Israel in Palestine. The same dictators carry on regardless, just under different names. One day many will hang their heads in shame when they realise the evil they defended and the heroes they ridiculed. Every time we witness an injustice and do not act, we train our character to be passive in its presence and thereby eventually lose all ability to defend ourselves and those we love. Never apologise for being correct or for being ahead of your time. If you're right and you know it, speak your mind. Even if you're in a minority of one, the truth is still the truth. The only people who say we can't have Medicare for everyone are people like Stephen Hemsley, CEO of United Healthcare. He makes $77,000 a day denying healthcare to Americans. This is what the free market system has produced, and it's why we pay more for healthcare than anywhere else. That's what they're trying to turn the UK into, Britain, England, whatever you want to call it. I do not deplore the WikiLeaks revelations. They just made public what was actually the truth. Most often the revelations of the truth, even if it's unpleasant, is beneficial. Cheney, free. Bush, free. Blair, free. Assange, arrested. Manning, jailed twice. Snowden, in exile. Something is wrong when the criminals are free and those who expose them, their crimes, are jailed or have to flee. There are now 500,000 illegal Israeli settlers living in a Jewish settlement on stolen Palestinian land, making Israel 100% an apartheid colonizer. The woman jailed for £4,742 council tax debt she could not pay. In July 2016, Melanie Woolcock, a single mother from Bridgend in Wales, was given an 81-day jail sentence for failing to pay her council tax. Not well enough to work and receiving benefits, she had racked up £4,742 in council tax debt. A court initially ordered her to pay £10 a week towards her arrears, while she kept up the payments for a few months. Woolcock eventually defaulted and was sentenced in her absence. Despite making a last-minute payment of £100 on 8th of August, bailiffs and 2 police officers went to her home and took her to Bridgend Police Station and then to HMP Eastwood Park. I was being treated exactly the same as someone who had murdered someone, she said after her release. But when you're in there and you feel you haven't committed a crime, you feel a vast injustice being done to you. This is an attempt to bring back debtors' prisons. One of the most vilest corruption prisoning terms there were. Because you couldn't afford it, you didn't have any money, then send you to jail. That's what they're trying to bring back in, taking us back to the Stone Age, like I've been saying for a while now. GCHQ's cyber magicians manipulate online Discourse, Activism and disrupt alternative media. Secret units within the Five Eyes global spying network engage in covert online operations that aim to invade, deceive and control online communities and individuals through the spread of false information and the use of ingenious social science tactics. Such teams of highly trained professionals have several main objectives, such as to inject all sorts of material onto the internet and to use social science and other techniques to manipulate online discourse and activism to generate outcomes it considers desirable. The Intercept Glenn Greenwald report, based on intelligence documents leaked from by NSA contractor Edward Snowden. Links in description if you want to read the rest of the article. Just the government spying on us and spying on the Americans and the French and the Germans and everyone else, because you're not allowed to spy on your own people, so you simply farm it out to some other country to do. IDF General: Israel behind coup that installed Al-Sisi dictatorship in Egypt. A high-ranking IDF leader has revealed that Israel orchestrated the downfall of Egyptian President Mohamed Morsi and the rise of Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, thinly disguised military dictatorship. Israel preferred this normalizing leader to his somewhat pro-Palestine predecessor. Brigadier General Aria Eldad of the Israeli Defense Force, IDF, has claimed that Israel was behind the 2013 military coup that ousted Mohamed Morsi, Egypt's first democratically elected president. Eldad made the claim in an article published in the Israeli newspaper Mariv. Yeah, whatever it says. Mariv. John Pilger. Assange arrest, a warning from history. Real journalism is being criminalised by thugs in plain sight, says John Pilger. Dissent has become an indulgence and the British elite has abandoned its last imperial myth, that of fairness and justice. The glimpse of Julian Assange being dragged from the Ecuadorian embassy in London is an emblem of the times. Might against right, muscle against the law, indecency against courage. 6 policemen manhandled a sick journalist, his eyes wincing against his fist natural light in almost 7 years. This outrage happened in the heart of London, in the land of Magna Carta, ought to shame and anger all who fear their democratic societies. Assange is a political refugee protected by international law, the recipient of asylum under a strict covenant to which Britain is a signatory. The United Nations made this clear in the legal ruling of its working party of arbitrary detention. Again, link in description. It's a long article, but it explains we're in a dictatorship, basically. Study found universal credit causing hardship a year and a half ago. Joint DWP and HMRC report was released on Thursday, but dated November 2017. Ministers sat for nearly a year and a half on research that revealed that tax credit claimants experienced real financial problems after they signed on to universal credit. It has emerged. The Joint Department for Work and Pensions, DWP and HMRC study, which examined how tax credit claimants coped with the move, found 6% of those said they struggled to pay bills and their difficulties began when they moved on to the new benefit. More than half of claimants reported that the routine 6-week wait for first payment took them by surprise, and nearly half of those who were expecting a delay underestimated that by a third how long the wait would be. Basically, it's an utter universal credit is an utter failure, and it is causing poverty and hardship to everyone. But that's exactly what the government wanted it to do. Number of children in absolute poverty across UK hits 3.7 million after increase of 200,000 in a year. The number of children in absolute poverty across the United Kingdom has increased by 200,000 in a year to a total of 3.7 million. Now government data shows that while the rate of absolute child poverty had been gradually falling since 2012, it has now risen again. The figures will come as an embarrassment for ministers who last year responded to a rise in relative poverty by highlighting that absolute poverty rates, the preferred measure, had fallen. Campaigners said main drivers of the increase were cuts to benefits and tax credits, which have hit working families with more than 2 children particularly hard. The figures show that among children in poverty there has been a rise in those who live in working families, up from 69% to 72% in a year. It's working exactly as the government wanted it. Scottish children murdered in paedophile snuff films. Children in Scotland have been filmed being murdered by paedophiles in so-called snuff films. November 9th, 2014. A leading charity says often brothers and sisters are made to have sex with each other, and that animals are also involved. Scots children are suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. Children in Scotland have been filmed being murdered by paedophiles in so-called snuff movies. The links are in the description if you want to read the rest of it, but it's going on all over the place, and politicians are also heavily involved. There's a link in the description to this as well. Make sure you go and watch it, read it. Did you know you can get your council tax bill written off? The council tax arrears petition the council to exercise discretionary write-off. Section 13A, the Local Government Finance Act 92 states 13A billing authorities power to reduce amount of tax payable. 1. Where a person is liable to pay council tax in respect of any chargeable dwelling and any day, the billing authority for the area in which the dwelling is situated may reduce the amount which he is liable to pay as respect of the dwellings and the day to such an extent as it thinks fit. Read the rest of it, a very interesting article, and it explains everything you can do. Telegraph. Corbyn bound for number 10 as Tories face 60-seat loss. A Dandy Dane joins Hall of Fame. Yeah. Begum was enforcer in ISIL's morality police squad. HS2 firm in bird netting scandal. All right. L drivers need abuse protection. In other words, they want to do it. Oh no, look, they've beaten me because I'm learning. Oh no, yeah. Grow up. The Observer. Corbyn told back a public vote or lose Remainers. Warning over Euro elections manifesto, generation of young voters could desert. Revealed the return of Victorian slums. They're taking us back to the Stone Age, lest we stop them. Express. Exclusive. Ministers fear Brexit is dead, but furious leavers promise to fight on and finish the job. Classy Keeley keeping coy about screen kiss. Holiday horror boy 10 killed in dog attack. Wonder what they're going to do with that then. The Fail. Jihadi bride sewed suicide vests on. Spy chiefs give PM chilling briefing on Shamima Begum. George and Charlotte's big day out. Oh, yeah, parasites, they're always in the papers. People. Look who's in line to fill Darcy's dancing shoes. Who gives a shit about dancing crap? Fit for heroes. Dragons, Duncans, free gym passes for PSTD veterans. Hell of Dubai horse jibe mum. Brit held for cyber slur driven to brink of suicide. Mirror. My lifelong bipolar battle by TV comic Tony Slattery. Dubai mum, my hell. New soccer racism low. Police probe race attacks on footy stars kids. I don't believe it for a second. Waste a paper star. Exclusive, Little Splasher, Megan's Royal Water Baby. Parasites again. Jeez, when are we? I'm sick of hearing about the scumbags. Bulldog Savages Boy 10 to death. Oh, they're going to bring in some new rules now about bulldogs, you watch. Barton's Cop Quiz at Fracas in Tunnel. The Sunday Times. Corbyn admits we ignored anti-Semitism. Tape exposes leaders' secret confessions. Police open fire on attack on embassy. What are they going to do there then? Because everything they do like this, because I can see there's no blood. If they've opened fire, there's no blood around whoever they supposedly opened fire on. None what I can see anyway. So what's this about? Increasing more dictatorial powers. That's what it's about. ISIS terror plans found in number 10. Salisbury's best place to live. Great. You mark my words. There's no blood around there. They're supposed to have opened fire on him. No blood. They're going to start bringing some more draconian bullshit in to bring in their one world dictatorship bullshit. And on a final note, before I bid you adieu, how many times can you subtract 10 from 100? Links in the description. Before I give the answer, well, have you put the links in? Don't go lying now. Have you put your link in? Have you put your answer in the description? Okay. The answer is, of course, once. The next time you would be subtracting 10 from 90. See you tomorrow.